The statements in this presentation have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Isagenix products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The weight loss and income testimonials cannot be guaranteed and should not be considered typical. An unpublished 2008 university study showed weight loss of 7 pounds during the first 9 days of the cleansing and fat-burning system. As with any business opportunity, success depends largely on the individual's skills, motivation, and effort.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Thursday night product training with Isagenix. My name is Kirsty Cody, your host, and it's a pleasure to be here with everybody tonight. We have the wonderful Jim Rhoades with us, and tonight's topic is all about our stellar protein products. Our shakes, our bars, our soups, our IsaPro, whey protein concentrate. I'm just so excited about our shakes and our protein products that I'm just so grateful that we have them. They are a huge, huge, huge key as to why everybody's getting the results that they're getting. So I know that Jim is going to be breaking it all down as far as information. Feel free to take notes. A little bit about Jim Rhoades is he is a nutritionist. He's also a father of 8, a grandfather of, oh my goodness, is it 17 or is it more now, Jim?
17.
17, okay, good. Now, one of the things for those of you who are brand new that you may not know about Jim is that prior to Isagenix, he was the president and CEO of a different international nutritional company. I love that. And he kind of, heard about Isagenix through his beautiful wife, Kathy, and because of her outstanding results, he actually resigned from that and came on full on into Isagenix. But Jim was one of 10 guest lecturers that spoke at Harvard Medical School about super nutrition, and he's also been a guest teacher at George Wythe College, and the list goes on. He's one of our Isagenix millionaires. He's a 5-star Golden Circle, and he's received many, many, many awards, but I think that the most prestigious award is him receiving the President's Award in 2009. So with all of that being said, good evening, Jim, and welcome.
Thank you, Kirsty, and thank you for all the kind, sweet things you always say. You're the best.
Oh, well, you are certainly welcome, and it's all the truth. I speak nothing but the truth. All right, Jim, you know it. These shakes that we have going on, the IsaLean Shakes, are so doggone good. I think that the first question I want to pose to you tonight is having you just kind of outline the difference between our shakes versus others on the market these days.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, and that's considerable because I've been researching this particular kind of product for a couple of decades, there is no finer food or meal on the planet than our IsaLean Shake. It's a complete meal. And the difference between it and what would be considered another, say, protein meal that you could buy possibly even a whole lot less expensive is the contents. When you put all of the nutrients that the body requires to regenerate itself and maintain its health and strength, a strong immune system, a strong digestive system, rebuilding, this particular product contains all of the essential building blocks, all of them. There are 90 of them to be exact. They're called essential amino acids, essential fatty acids, essential vitamins, and the most important, the essential minerals that are missing in most all other products. They are not missing. They are from the cleanest source. And they've got their own delivery system to make sure they're broken down and carried in, making it possible for anyone who is using the IsaLean Shakes, the IsaLean bars, the IsaPro, the soups, to get a complete meal. And then the beauty of that is at low calorie and low sugar, making it possible for us to drop pounds and inches safely and still nourish our body. So in a nutshell, what makes the difference between ours and theirs? Theirs is filled with artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, artificial coloring. It is filled with literally what we call fillers, which is nothing much more than sawdust. When you run into a whey based shake on the market where you can buy a canister almost bigger than you can put your arms around to carry out to the car, and it's only $4. Ask yourself, how come? It's because the container holding it costs more than the whey protein that's on the inside. The whey protein on the inside is a throwaway product. It's a byproduct of cheese. And they know that it's loaded with all the impurities that the cattle have been given, such as the growth hormone steroid shots, such as the antibiotics that they've been injected with, such as the pesticides and herbicides that have been all over in their food. So all that residual is in that whey protein, and it's, in my opinion, just 1 or 2 steps above puppy chow. It'll maintain life, but it won't help you thrive.
Wow, I love the differences that you just outlined. Now, you covered a lot there. I mean, the differences between our shakes, one of them being, what's not in our shakes versus the others that are on the market, and of course the quality of the protein. Let's get into the quality of the protein. Ours is undenatured. Maybe you can explain to everybody what that means.
Oh boy, that makes a huge difference, a big impact on how the body can utilize it and how it can get in. Undenatured means it's not been heat treated. Of course, as we know in the United States, everything is pasteurized, including the whey. And as a consequence, it's heat treated. That high temperature changes things molecularly. In New Zealand, where our whey protein comes from, we first of all start with cattle that are only milked during milking season. Second of all of the cattle are pasture fed. They're grass fed. They're not given any hormone shots for growth. They're not given any antibiotics. It's against the law there. So the quality of the milk, and then the byproduct from that milk, which is our whey protein, is the highest in the industry. It's considered actually pharmaceutical grade organic. It's that good. It surpasses that. Plus, it contains the best amino acid profile. Now, that's a fancy way of saying it contains every essential building block of the amino acids, which are your base building blocks for all of your lean body tissue and muscle, all of your organs, and all of your glands. That's why it's so healthy and so good for you. Now, add to that your father's knowledge of how to get it into the body with live enzymes. We're one of the few companies in the world that actually has a transport system to break the foods down into the individual components that are needed and carry it on into the body so that it reaches the cell where it does its work. And so we have this live enzyme transport system. We also have probably a better form of sugar. Most other companies, even if they do use just straight sugar, our sugar comes from a clean source which is very friendly to the body. It's called fructose. Fructose takes several chemical reactions to break down before it enters the bloodstream. So it's low glycemic, which is what you want, so you're not spiking your blood sugar. It's also just comes from beet, pear, and apple. 3 of the best forms to get your fructose from. So our product, as far as getting in and doing what it's supposed to do, has the right profile, all of the essential building blocks, its own delivery system, it's low glycemic and low sugar, so it's friendly for our friends who have a few issues with their blood sugar.
Wow. So, with everything that you shared, I've heard you say that these shakes are the best food on the planet. I would assume that all of those things that you just shared is the reason why?
Yes. My personal opinion is it is the most complete food on the planet because it contains all 90 of the building blocks the body cannot generate for itself. That's important. Second, it's got the delivery system to make sure they get in. Third, it's low calorie and low glycemic, allowing the body to be fully fed without building fat mass. So that's why we see this wonderful side benefit of pounds and inches melting away as we lower our calories and add our exercise.
All right, so let's talk about true meal replacement, because this is a big deal. There are other companies out there that have shakes, and they're adding milk to them. They aren't enough. I mean, let alone the protein source in some of the shakes out there. It's crazy. But let's talk about true meal replacement.
Okay, a true meal replacement literally has to have not just calories and nutrition. It has to be a useful nutrition that can actually get in. You will notice other protein shakes require that you add milk to it so that it becomes a meal. The biggest portion of the meal is from the milk, not from their protein shake, ironically. Ours you add water to, and it's a complete meal because of all the nutrients we just described that the body cannot produce for itself, plus all of the added nutrients of amino acids, fatty acids, vitamins, minerals, everything that's essential to maintain a healthy, strong body.
Yeah, I've seen so many shakes out on the market where it's nothing but protein, sweetened with, sucralose or, aspartame or something crazy. And there is no balance between proteins, fats, and carbs. So it's so beautiful to see that our nutritional profile of our shakes are fantastic. Let's talk about pH of proteins and of course, how whey protein fits into that.
Oh, my goodness. Well, if people have studied the pH scale, it's from 0 to 14, and 7 is considered neutral. Ironically, our whey protein is exactly that, 7. And then when you add the herbs and the plants, now you've added in so that it goes into the alkaline side. So as soon as you're on the IsaLean Shakes, the IsaLean soups, the IsaLean bars, you are pushing your body into the light alkaline corridor, exactly where you want to be to stay your healthiest, not acidic. Most all other proteins cause the body to go acidic.
Interesting. And having whey being the most alkaline, I think is tremendous. Now, I want to kind of review here. You've touched on sugars, that it's low glycemic. We talked about the absorbability with the 7 key digestive enzymes. So let's actually talk about the bars. One of the things that we get asked a lot is, if I order the bars, can I eat the bars in lieu of a shake when I'm trying to lose weight? And are they low glycemic because they taste sweeter than the shake? So tell us a little bit about the bars.
Okie doke. Actually, the bars are a substitute for the finest meal, which is the shake. So you're taking a step down. It's not as good because it doesn't have the digestive enzymes in the bars. But it is so superior to any other kind of bar out there, granola bar or otherwise, because it contains every one of those building blocks, even though it does have a little more fructose in it and a little more sugar in it, yes. So it's, for us at our home, we cut the bars in half and then in half again. So when grandkids come over and ask for a treat, they're given a quarter of a meal or an eighth of a meal, which they think is as good as a Snickers bar, but it's so much healthier for them because it's all building blocks and all good for them.
So to actually address the enzyme issue, I suppose someone could take the Enzyme Complex formula, the digestive enzyme complex.
That would be perfect, yes. If they would take one of those Enzyme Complex capsules 15 minutes prior to the bar, they would have probably as close as you could get to a shake without having a blender.
Fantastic. And then let's talk about the soups really fast, because the soups are the exact same profile of the shakes. It's just served in a hot and savory way. And I was asked the question the other day, is is it a possibility to get the water too hot when mixing the soups?
Yes. You do not want the water boiling, okay? Boiling kills enzymes. Anything over about 109 degrees will start to destroy the enzymes. And the enzymes, just like in the shake, are live when the water is added. So if you can boil your water and then give it a minute to cool down to where when you put it in your mouth it's nice and warm, you could even consider it hot, but not burny. Now you won't do anything harmful to your enzymes. And it's equivalent, just like you mentioned, exactly equivalent to a shake. It's got the same profile of all the building blocks.
That's great, yeah. Now let's move on to the IsaPro, because that's our last and final protein product, besides the snacks that are designed for cleanse days. But the IsaPro is absolutely fantastic. And one of the largest questions, most frequently asked questions we get is, okay, you have IsaPro, now how do I use it? Who should use it? How do you implement it? So what are some of the key ways that you use IsaPro when coaching people through their systems?
Okay. First person I look at is if they're athletic, if they're going to be burning a lot of calories and rebuilding muscle mass. If that's true, IsaPro is a must. I will tell that person 2 scoops of IsaLean, 1 scoop of IsaPro, minimum for each shake. If the person has a little bit of sluggishness, let's say in the thyroid, the adrenal glands, they can't lose weight very easily, or if their immune system is not as active as they'd like it, then it's 1.5 scoops of IsaLean and 1 full scoop of IsaPro. The IsaPro is the pure whey protein with all the amino acids to build muscle, lean body, tissue, and organs and glands. So it's adding almost not just a third more protein, but almost half again by just adding that 1 scoop.
Mm-hmm. So good for plateaus, good for people who have thyroid challenges, great for athletes, and I would assume maybe IsaPro wouldn't really come into play for teenagers unless they're avid athletes, such as boys that are trying to put on lean muscle for football or something, or wrestling, correct?
Right on, right on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so let's actually talk about whole family nutrition when it comes to the shakes, the bars, the soups, and, of course, the IsaPro. We just hit on that a little bit, but who can take what? You talked about your little grandchildren coming over and eating a quarter of a bar as a snack, and they think it's candy. That's cute. So who can use all of these products?
This whey protein that it's based out of is got the best nutritional contents of any of the proteins I've ever researched, with the added enzymes to make sure that it gets in, the good flavors so that the kids like it. At my house, it's not a democracy on whether or not they should, it's they will. And I enforce that, of course, by requiring my married children to make sure each of my grandkids, at least starting at age 2, get a shake every day. And we, like I mentioned, we have the bars cut into little sections and put in the candy dishes so that they think there's a treat waiting every time they get to Grandma and Grandpa's house that's as good as a candy bar. But in my opinion, a little half shake for a 2-year-old there's more nutrition in that little half shake than all the rest of the food she'll probably be getting the rest of the day, with its own delivery system and all the important missing minerals that aren't in the regular foods, even if they do eat their fruits and their veggies, which my grandkids do. This just guarantees that they've got the full source of all the building blocks their body requires, so they have healthy immune systems and they have healthy digestive systems. And every system in their body is fed. Every one of the billion new cells that are created minute by minute have what they need to be strong and healthy. So, yeah, all my kids, since Isagenix, all the babies born in the last 8 years are Isa babies, every single one. And there is a notable difference in their size, in their health, and in their temperament from their older brothers and sisters born prior to Isagenix. It makes that big of a difference. I know my youngest grandson of Cammy's just turned 5, and he's never had to visit a doctor for antibiotics, and yet his older brothers and sisters spent days and weeks because of swollen tonsils and swollen adenoids and had all kinds of issues just because, in my opinion, the nutrition, both for their mother during pregnancy and for them after they were born, it is in our IsaLean products.
I love that. Well said, Jim. My goodness, what a great call. So information in a very short, so much information in a very short period of time. This is a great call for everybody to be able to reference to. And anytime you have any questions in regards to any of the protein products that Isagenix delivers on. So, Jim, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us this evening. We really, really appreciate you.